All right, so here's our master social scraper. I'm going to grab Elon Musk's profile URL. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to click open chat, and then I'm going to type it in. Now, right away, you can see that it's off and deciding which path to take. Since it's a Twitter profile, it's gone down the Twitter path. It's now finding our spreadsheet to see if we have any previous rows with these particular posts that it just scraped. It's going to remove any duplicates, and then it's going to add all of the new posts to the spreadsheet. And now going over to the spreadsheet, you can see all of our new Elon posts right here at the bottom. Now, if we had done this for an Instagram reel or a YouTube short or a YouTube video, then it would be kicked down into our transcript generator, which basically takes the new row and it says, okay, we don't yet have a transcript for this. Let's go ahead, download the video, grab the transcript, and then add it to our spreadsheet. And so that's what these workflows are right here. Okay, so let's talk about who this is for and how they can use it. This is going to be for content creators and personal brands who want to study top performing content. It's for agency owners and media buyers looking for market research and creative inspiration, for growth marketers who want to automate their competitor analysis, for founders and sales teams doing outbound research and message crafting, and anyone who wants to turn public profiles into AI-ready data for analysis or automation. So how can you use it? So with this workflow, you can instantly pull posts from LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram Reels, and X without going to multiple different scrapers. You can automatically transcribe short form and long form videos. You can create a swipe file of content ideas or build a competitor library. You can take the data that it pulls and feed it to other AI agents to generate new content, outreach scripts, or summaries. And you can track changes in messaging, offers, and engagement trends over time. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through all of the pieces of this build. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you the template so that you can take it and start using it immediately for yourself. So let's go ahead and dive on into this build. As you can see, I decided to make my trigger a chat message. You could also do a form submission where you basically drop in the URL of any channel or profile from a social media account. Now in this master scraper, I have these accounts. These are the primary platforms that I use, but we have an X scraper, an Instagram scraper, YouTube scraper, and LinkedIn scraper. Now it is worth noting, these are all completely different scrapers. Now I get my scrapers from a site called Appify. Appify is basically a marketplace where you can go and get pre-built scrapers that can scrape just about anything from anywhere. You can scrape website profiles, you can scrape emails, user data, post data, you can scrape channel data. It's just a really great marketplace for these. Now what I did is I basically just searched X and I found a bunch of different actors that provided the tools that I needed. And then I basically clicked through each one to find out which one best suited my particular use case. Once I selected one for each, I then went back and I started to do the build. So from the chat message, it goes to this text classifier AI node. Now this is just a really simple AI node whose primary function is to classify the text that is sent through in the input. And now in our case, that's this right here. Now you can see here the text that I said was identify the category based on the input URL. And then I added in the JSON for that particular input, pulling from the chat input over here. Now it has been given 4 different categories that it can choose from. LinkedIn, and all of the descriptions are based on the URL. So LinkedIn, if it comes from a linkedin.com URL, YouTube for any URLs containing YouTube or youtube.be, Instagram, and X, or Twitter, right? Just to make sure that we're safe and we're covering all of our bases. And you can see from this that the output came out correctly. We have our chat input, which was X, and the correct branch was chosen. None of the other branches were chosen. Now, unfortunately, n8n doesn't have native nodes for these Appify actors. So what we have to do instead is use an HTTP request node. So in doing so, we've basically connected this node to the actor, and then we've sent over our header fields that not only include the format that we want, but it also includes our API token. And then we have our JSON that we're sending over to it. Now, in this case, this particular actor received a JSON in this particular format. So what I did is I basically set the max items to 20. So that's the max number of tweets that I want to pull. And I sorted from the latest. And then I input the URL of the profile, okay? And I set it up so that this particular actor would function off of the profile URL. Now, the cool thing is this actually outputs a lot of data. You can see here some of the data that it put out. It tells you a lot about not only the profile that you've selected, for example, the ID, the URL, but it also sends over tweet information as well. So the retweet count, the reply count, like count, quote. There's a lot of information here. And to be honest with you, most people don't need most of it, but it is customizable. So you can pick and choose which data you want to pull. So after our scraper has pulled these posts from the profile, it first goes to our database to say, hey, does this particular post already exist in our database? So it checks it by URL. So this is just a find row node for Google Sheets. And you can see that I'm using the post URL as my identifier for it to go and search and say, hey, are there any other posts with this particular URL? So to do that, obviously I had to have a column that includes the URL. Now from here, it didn't find any, right? And so because of that, it went on to the merge node. Now I'm using this node to remove duplicates. Now what it did is it looked for matches. Now in this case, it didn't find any matches. So you can see here all of the data that's getting passed through, and I've got 10 pages of it, right? So a lot of data is going to go through. From here, we're then adding our records directly to Sheets. Now you can do this a couple different ways. I decided to match first off on the column URL, and I did it manually. And the reason I did it manually is that I actually don't want all of this data that it's sending through. For my use, I really only want this data. And you can see based on the output, it then took only the pieces of data that I actually wanted, and it said, okay, cool, this is the information I'm going to pass through. And so I passed through the URL, the handle, the post URL, the author followers, the view count, the like count, and the text itself, right? And so after this node, our Google Sheet is now updated with all the posts, and it's good to go. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about the transcript generators. So for any video related content, we've got two generators here. We've got our Instagram Reels transcript generator and our YouTube long transcript generator. These are structured almost exactly the same with one caveat. So let's start with the Instagram Reels. First off, we have a trigger as a row added. So it is constantly looking at this sheet. You can see that I've set it to poll every minute. And on the appropriate sheet, whenever a node is added, it then triggers the workflow. Then it looks to say, okay, is the transcript column empty or is it full? And if it has content, then it says, no, it doesn't need a transcript. If the cell is empty, then it actually says, okay, continue with the workflow. Because the output from the top workflow is a bulk upload, which is multiple rows all at once, I've added in a loop over items node. And the purpose of this is to work with only one row at a time. So it basically takes each row and then works through each row until they are all populated. And once it has completed updating all rows with transcripts, it completes the workflow. So the loop over node is set to batch size only 1, so it's only going to pull one record at a time. And what we basically do is use an HTTP request with the video URL. It's important if you use the post URL, it won't pull properly, it'll pull data. But we want to use the video URL to download this particular video. Once it's downloaded, our AI transcript generator goes through and it pulls the transcript from it, and then it edits the title of the transcript. And then I've created an edit fields node. This one is not necessary, but what it does is it just simplifies the workflow by renaming the output of the previous node. The previous node's output was data. With this node, it's then changed to transcript. And then this one is able to simply pull in the transcript to the appropriate column. And again, we're matching on the URL. Now the Instagram Reels transcript and the YouTube transcript generator are almost exactly the same. The only real difference is that there is actually an Apify actor that can pull the YouTube transcript itself, not just the YouTube data, it's actually YouTube transcript. And so what I've actually done, instead of downloading the video, because a lot of YouTube videos are really long, I don't want to download the video, it takes a long time. So to simplify and speed up the workflow, I've instead just used the Apify actor to pull the transcript directly from the video. And what it ends up outputting is the actual transcript. And what you can see here is I actually have a previous pull generated right here, but what it did was it outputted the captions as individual lines. And so this AI node right here is designed to pull all of these lines of captions, is what it's calling the transcript, and to put them into a single text block. And you can see here my user prompt is, hey, please combine all captions end to end to create a single text block. And then I've dropped in the JSON for the captions. And then the system prompt is your helpful assistant. Your role is to create a text block combining all captions. Really simple. This is not a very complicated AI node. And the output looks much, much, much better. Then from here, we've edited the fields again. So we took the same field and instead of naming it captions, we updated it to call it transcript. And then we were able to take the transcript and update our row with the transcript. You can see that down here. And so the final result is a spreadsheet with the actual transcript of the video uploaded, as well as all the rest of the data in here. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you enjoyed that, do me a favor, give me a like and subscribe. If you want access to this build template along with the Sheets template and the documentation to install it for yourself, what you can do is click the link down below. It'll take you to this school community. It's brand new. We're launching it with this video and it is completely free. So guys, whether you're a business owner looking to add automation into your business, or whether you are an agency owner or freelancer looking to add more builds to your database, this is going to be a great resource for you. So go click below and check out the free community. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.